stampers and crafters. This is Kevon from ktstamps.com, creating cards for you. And how are you doing on this fabulous Thursday? So I hope all is going well and you are doing well. And I really appreciate you being here for Throw the Dice Thursday. So this is our dice that we are working with. As most of you know who have been following me for a while, I don't always hit the mark on these little creative dice, but sometimes I try to do my best. But today was one of those that I don't think I hit it very well, but there's some things that I've always wanted to do, so this helps me out. So the first card we are making is this one. You can see the boat right here, but I don't think you can see it very well, so I'm going to put a white piece over it, so I'm going to change this. But I really do like the look of this, and I did this with markers. So you can see that it isn't really clean and simple, but it is clean and simple. So there's coloring, there's going to be some die cuts, not really a thanks, but hey, best wishes can be a thanks to you. So a couple of things that I'm going to bring in is that using the Sunrise Sailing embossing folder, this I put in the middle so I could center the embossing folder with the boat in the middle. And all it is I just put it on the outside. It's some washi tape. So when I put my piece in there, then I know exactly where it can be centered at. I will be using the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And it looks like I already have something on this. Got a little mark here, but I can cover that up, I hope. We are using the linen thread. We are also using the 2527 in color flat pearls. I've already done the inside of my card. Both cards today are using the Sunrise Sailing with both the embossing folder and the dies. This, I did this in Azure Afternoon, and it's just part of this wave coming down. I die cut out the boat. This I use small blending brushes and I did this in some Balmy blue, and I just kind of went around in corners, tried to do it a little bit darker on the bottom and a little bit lighter on the top. So that's what I did for this for the inside. I got my markers out, and I have I hope this is the F block. Let me make sure. You guys can tell by just being on the side, but this is the bummer. It's the E block, so I wrote the wrong block down, so I will make sure I change that. Then I have Balmy Blue, Azure Afternoon, and Basic White. And I'll talk about those others in just a minute. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is that we're just going to take our insert and put it inside the card. So I have my tape, and you know, I have tried using this tape and it really drives me crazy because it usually tears all my the back of my cardstock off. But what I did is that I used it this way, and now I started holding it like a pencil, and for some odd reason it doesn't tear as much as it usually does. All right. Again, all the dimensions are on my website at www.ktstamps.com. I'm also using the alcohol, and I took my Wink of Stella all apart, and I poured the Wink of Stella inside the full bottle, and then I filled it up with alcohol. When these get low, all I do is undo these, take this black tip off, and add more alcohol, or sometimes I take the alcohol, I shake it, and I pour it inside the bottle. So anytime, if I'm on my third time of using alcohol inside my Wink Stella, I usually pour it in here. So this, all I've done is I've added alcohol. That's all I do. All right, so we're going to take this, and while I'm still taping, let's go ahead and do Azure Afternoon. Thank you again for everybody who supports me. Really appreciate it. Thank you for liking me. Thank you for keeping me going by subscribing to YouTube. I love comments. I don't get enough comments, but I'd really like more comments. So thank you for those people who comment. Really like that. Thanks for giving me likes. Really like that too. All right, so this is going to be our next piece that we will use. But before we do that, we're going to add a different technique. So we're bringing out 3 of our markers. And the markers are Blueberry Bliss, which is my last color. And then we have Azure Afternoon. And then we have our Balmy Blue. So we're going to start with Balmy Blue. We're going to take the side of our pen and we're just going to put it on the bottom of our block. Okay? And then we're going to add the next color. So we want to kind of fold it in a little bit by just kind of swiping where it was and then just kind of moving up. So we get some different colors added into this. And I always start lightest and then go to dark. And then our last color is the Blueberry Bushel. And we are just going to bring it up to the top of the block and then all the way down. Now, instead of huffing on this time, I am going to add sparkle. And that's where our alcohol comes into play. So we're going to take this and let me put this underneath it. And we're just going to spray. Then we're going to take our white cardstock and we are just going to lay this on top, trying to make sure that, oh, it's not even. But we're just going to do our best. And we're going to pick it up. A little weird towards the bottom, but this is going to give us our shiny, kind of like it's looking at blue sea to blue sky. So that's what it is. And once it starts to dry a little bit, you can see the shine that it has, and maybe you can't see it right now. Be careful of this so you don't get it all over yourself. Then we are going to take our embossing folder and we're going to put this right in the middle. And I'm going to try to get it as even as I can. I don't need lots and lots and lots of waves. There we go. So I think that's about where I'm going to be. Here's my boat. I'm trying to get it even on both sides. We're going to bring in our stamp and cut and emboss machine. And I'm holding this tightly. We are also going to bring in our platform number 1. Whoops, let's get it over there, number 1. Then we're going to lay this so the fold part of the embossing folder faces the inside first. And then this is going to be our little plate number 4. So we're just going to put that in there, and excuse my hands. And we're just going to run it through. Now it's going to be a little bit wet from the spray. So this is what it's going to look like. And I really like the clouds kind of going in and everything. So this is just I'm going to give it a different look by adding that white to it. So we're going to bring back in our card. And because it is embossed again, I like using the liquid glue anytime I emboss, because it gets all the nooks and crannies. And then I'm going to stick it on the card. I love all these colors together. The colors to me just turned out fabulous. You can't see it. I must have either pressed a little bit too hard down at the bottom because you can't see a lot of the waves. But I'm hoping that this next part will help us out. So we're just going to take the boat. I'd already put some dimensionals on, and it's a mixture of both the small and the large. I went a little bit cray-cray on you. I added lots and lots and lots of dimensionals. So I'm kind of going off screen to do that. Hi, Smile Moonshine. Thank you for being here today. Really appreciate you supporting me. You've been very kind. Okay, obviously this does not want to come off, so let's take this. It always seems like you have to play doctor with these. Okay, we're going to get out another one and just stick it down there. And then take off the little ones. And this seems like this takes up the most time. So there you go. I'm just going to put that down here because I couldn't see the one over here, so I wanted to do this, and I just thought it would be beautiful sitting in the water. I'm going to take my spray again. Let me bring in this, and I'm going to just give it a little spray. I want it to shine just a little bit more, and I don't know if you can see the shine, but I just thought that would be the best thing for this, is to add something to it. And then what I did is that I took some of the linen thread and I wrapped it around about 7 times. Because I thought a lot of times what happens in sailing is that 7 is a good number. And then I put lots of dimensionals at the bottom. So I wanted to give it to you so it looked very sailory, whatever that means. So I'm just going to add this to the bottom. And again, we have our best wishes. And then we have the inside of the card. And the best wishes also came from the sunrise sailing. So that's what I used. All right, so that's our first card. And you can tell me, which card do you like better? Do you like the one that has the boat in it, or do you like the one where you can hardly see the boat in the back? But, oh, yeah, thank you. Thank you, Self. Thank you. All right, so we are going to take, I forgot this, our flat pearls, and we are just going to add them to the side. And I just went with the small, the medium, and the large. And I'm going to put this one down below. So there we go. Now it is complete. So that's what we got. All right. So from here, we're just going to move this out of the way. This is my second card. That is very clean and simple. And it is. So here's everything that you need for that. You're going to need Smoky Slate, Highland Heather, Mambo, Mellow Mambo. We're going to use Darling Ducky and Coastal Cobana. So that's what we're using with this. We got our glue dots. We have our tape, and I think, or our thread, and I think this is the Essential Pack. And I can't remember what the beginning is. And then I just have everything to add to it and stamp with. So I will have some stamping that will take place. All right, on this will be our Melon Mambo. Then we have black. We have the insert basic white. Now you can see that I cut this black out because I'm covering it with paper. So you're not going to be able to see the back of this. So this is a quick and easy way just to save some paper. All right, I had to get another, I used something else to cut this one out, some scraps. I used scraps of white to do the top sail, and then the black to do this. This is the one that I did, and I just didn't like the color of the cherry cobbler against the Melon Mambo, so I'm going to change that. So we have it, so it looks a little bit different. Okay, so we're going to get started by just doing the inside first. Let me show you what the inside looks like. I just decided to make it look just a little bit different. And I thought I did the birds. So on the Sunrise Sailing, it comes with clouds, with the birds, if you want to put the birds on. And also with waves. So these are waves. So please make sure that you think about that when you are using this, is that you do have waves that will just add to the bottom. And that's what I did with this, is that I'm just going to add the waves. So you can see the inside. So I already stamped the birds. I'm going to take my liquid glue and just put this on the bottom. And then I'm going to take my black little sailboat and add this on the bottom. And I'm just letting it be in the sea. And then I'm taking my white and I'm just going to, add glue to the back of this. And I like working with the liquid glue. And now you're going to line everything up, and I lined it up so the point came right underneath the little black ball at the top. And I wanted to scoot that over just a little bit because I wanted you to be able to see the black pole all the way up. So that's the inside of my card. I just thought it's kind of fun. Wanted to do something just a little bit different that I hadn't done before. And I'm taking my adhesive and just going to go ahead and put it on the inside. And there we go. So now we're going to work on the outside. So we have our black, and I have already run this through the Stampin', Emboss, and Cut folder. So we're just going to bring in our piece of, oh, I forgot my, sorry, I forgot my bad, I forgot forgot my little, I washed them out and then I forgot to bring them back in. So the small, what are they? Small blending brushes. So we're going to start off, I like starting with the purple first. So we're going to go with Heather Highland. And we're going to just add it at the very top. And I started in different places so I could just try to get the skyline looking like a skyline, kind of. All right. So that's what this one looks like. So I got some purple going on here. And I may come back and use some of that. Then I have the Mellow Mambo. And this one becomes a darker color. So I want to make sure that I get it on the side first. And you can see I'm starting to bring the colors down. And I will add just a little more purple on this. And then we have the Darling Duckling. Such a sweet little color. And I forgot to tell you, this is really wet. As you can see, it is totally wet, 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 wet. And I was going to tell you that beforehand, but of course, I forgot to say something. So I'm going to bring this back in and see if I can mush a few of these colors together. Oh my goodness. Get it to be just a little more orange. There we go. I'm going to see if I can take a little bit of this out of the way. Looks pretty thick, thick, thick. Okay. Then I'm going to bring the purple back in. Or the Highland Heather. And whoops, I just come from the side and go over top. There you go. So that's giving you just a little idea where you need to be. And then my last color will be the Coastal Cobana. I don't know, I got a little bit of the Melon Mambo at the bottom. Okay, let's come up just a little bit and see if we can get these colors mixed together just a little bit. Okay, so there you go. I'm going to try just a little bit more in here. So there's our nice little sunset. A little bit different than this. All right, so we are going to take this away. So we are done with our coloring. That's what I classified our coloring. And we are going to bring in our boat. And the first thing we're going to bring in is the bottom of the boat. So we're going to bring that in. I like being able to put it down and make sure that it gets nice and straight. And we're going to mambo it. So it has a little bit of Melon Mambo color to the bottom. Okay, let's give it a little more color. And that's one of the things about these is that you can see through them to line it up. So it's pretty perfect with the Photo Palmer stamp set. Alrighty, then I'm just putting that to the side so I can remember to do it. Then we're going to take the sail, and this is going to be our sail. And I like to, again, just put it down, let it kind of shape itself out. And then we're going to end up just looking at how it's going to go on top of the sailboat. So I am going to bring in the Smoky Slate. I'm going to stamp off, and then I'm going to stamp on this. And that's going to give you just a little bit of the sails, and they look like they are going through the wind. There's some movement to them. But then what I'm also going to do is to bring back in some of the color to give it just a little bit of color. And I'm not inking them up anymore. I'm just letting the residue of what I have already had be on them. So this is what it looks like. You can see a little bit of the green at the bottom. Let me see if I can rub a little bit of this off at the bottom. There we go. We're just going to do that. All right, so we're going to get that out of the way. We're going to move this. Then we are going to take our black. This is just going to be my bow. So I'm going to make a loop, go all the way around, put my loop through the bottom, and then tie it. And then fuss with it. And then I'll cut it. And then I'm taking my full black and I'm just going to get a little bit of tape. I'm going to put it down with the starting. I like the Coastal Cobana with the black. It looks absolutely beautiful. Okay, guess I could have saved it. Let me see, I don't want this too big. There we go. And now I'm going to color it. I went around, or I'm going to cut it. I went around 3 times. So that's how I did that. All right, and that kind of gives me that. Should have probably gone down just a little bit lower for that, but hey, we're going to be okay. So now I'm going to get out my glue. And put this on the black, but because I have glue on it, I want to make sure that it doesn't go all the way through. So I'm adding my silicone pad. My silicone pad is one of my best friends when I am, whoops, stamping. Okay. There we go. So you can see through the back. And now I am just going to put some dimensionals on it, but before I do dimensionals, I'm going to bring back in my alcohol and wink a Stella. I like a good shine. Can you see the shine now? Oh, love that. All right. So from here, we are going to take dimensionals. And we're just going to add dimensionals onto the back. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here, guys. I really appreciate it. Friends, stop in anytime. I love having you here. And I'm just going to do a couple on the side because it is a little bit wet right now. All right, and here we go. We're just going to get rid of this. And remember, if you have a take your pick tool, you can take your pick and kind of stab all the backings off. And they come off pretty easily. If I take this, I don't know if I have a take your pick tool that has the pick in it. Okay, I do.
Sorry, I can't help you with notes on Apple Watch.
Okay. So here, oh, let me see, right here. We're just gonna pick that off. There you go. So that's how you do that with the take your pick. All right, and then we're just going to add that in, add that to the card. We're going to take, oh, I did this flat. Let's do, and I'm just going to add this onto the boat. I think I should have stamped off on that. You may want to stamp off on the bottom one. There you go. You got that. And then all I'm going to do is add my bow. And so I'm going to bring out my glue dots and add them right to the middle. Okay, and then I'm just going to put that down and then cut this off. There you go. So we have that. So I have nothing on this card. There's no sentiment. I really like that. I feel like I need a little bit of, hold on. I need to add a few things. I'm going to add a couple of these because I just think it needs something. All right, so here you go, baby. Come on. We're going to put this up at the top. We really are. It's going to go up there. There we go. All right, so we got that. And is that all we need? No, we need a couple more. Let's get some of these big ones down in here. And another, they're medium size. And another medium size one right down there. Let's go for 5 because I want to make sure that I cover up this little spot here. There we go. And then let's do one more. And we're going to take it up by the cloud. let's do that up here. There we go. So I added a few more to that. I like it a little bit better. It shines a little bit easier. And that's what we got there. Whoop, whoop. So we have that. Okay, so these are the cards that we did today. So I hope you like them. I know that they're not exactly the clean and simple, but I got inspired. What can you say when you get inspired? Whoop, whoop. All right. So now let's bring these back in, and we will roll the dice again for 2 weeks. All right. Yes, I need to learn that, don't I? Clean and simple. Thanks. Ribbon blending. All right. So that's what we have for next time. So I really appreciate you guys being here. Again, all the measurements and everything that you need will be on my website, www.ktstamps.com. And again, my name is Kevon. Please like, subscribe. Look at these creative dice and say, oh my God, what can I create out of these beautiful dice? Okay. And then you can post them on my Facebook. Otherwise, I love creating cards for you. So feel free to feel free to give me a shout out. Thank you, thank you, thank you again, you guys. Bye-bye.